What's up, Periscope? It's Chris coming back at you with another live broadcast. So, today is just gonna be another random share. Excuse me for looking all bummish and whatnot, but I kind of got a little bit of a cold, so I'm just gonna share this thought that I had. Um, Shout out to everybody that's joining me. Um, I just watched the most amazing Periscope by Miss B Speaks to You. Hey Bianca, if you're watching, your Periscope really inspired me to share. So kind of hello. So that's kind of what this Periscope is about. It's about my share, and Bianca she touched on something that's really near and dear to my heart. And that is the power of forgiveness. And forgiveness, Lord, forgiveness is such a powerful tool. Like, it really is. Like, the power to forgive, the art of forgiving someone, being able to accept forgiveness is such a powerful and life altering tool, life changing tool that I think everybody is equipped with, but it's if we choose to use it, that's what really makes the difference. Um, Excuse me, I gotta um, situate myself. So yeah, forgiveness and how powerful it can be. Um, I think a lot of times as human beings, we hold on to so much hurt and pain and things that have happened to us in the past. People that have hurt us, situations that we've gone through that have hurt us. We just hold on to that. For what reason? I don't know. Maybe we're afraid to let it go because we're afraid of how it's gonna alter our lives. But we just gotta learn to let it go. And I wanted to share a little bit of my story. Um, when I was 6 months old, I was adopted. Um, my birth mother was and still is on drugs. Um, yeah, she is. And I had a relationship with her. You know, growing up, it wasn't the best relationship, but I was very aware of who she was. My adoption was open. Um, I was aware of who she was, and I was also aware of the lifestyle that she lived. And because my adopted mother made it a valid point for us to not forget where we come from. Even though she adopted me out when I was a baby, I was still very aware of the fact that I had brothers and sisters, biological brothers and sisters that I have a relationship with. Um, and over the years, my relationship with my biological mother became strained for one reason or another. It became strained, and some things happened. And then when I was 13, yeah, yeah, I had another. When I was 13, I lost my brothers to a drunk driving accident. The driver was going 90 miles per hour in like a 60 mile per hour zone, and my brothers were walking home from playing basketball, and they were hit and killed by this drunk driver. It was a hit and run accident. The driver fled the scene or whatever. And we still to this day don't know where this guy is. I think because he was an illegal immigrant. Not saying that all illegal immigrants are bad, but he flew back to. I guess he went back to Mexico. I guess I'm not sure. Um, but that really hurt me. Like dealing with the death of my brothers really impacted me in a way that I didn't at the time. I didn't know how heavy it was because I was close to my brothers. And losing them, like when I tell y'all that it shook my world to the core, um, it really did. Like I didn't know what to do with my life because I felt like my world had been taken from me. My life as I knew it had changed. So that was really hard for me to deal with. And then I was so young, and so to go through the grieving process at such a young age, and to not only do it once but to do it twice. Because I grieved for both of my brothers, even though because they were killed at the same time. So I grieved for not only one of them, but for both of them. Um, so yeah, having to grieve twice, having to feel all these emotions two times as strong, was a lot to deal with for a 13-year-old girl who was just starting high school, who, I was just a teenager, like I was 13. So having to deal with that loss was it was a really heavy thing to deal with at the age of 13 years old. Um, but in the process of me losing my brothers, um, my birth mother, who, like I said earlier, was and is on drugs, um, she kind of did some things that, weren't nice, for lack of a better word. And she took me and my adopted mother. She took us through the ringer, like everything bad that she could say about me or my adopted mother, she said it. So yeah, to have to deal with that and to have hear her, I'm sorry y'all, hear her say all these like mean and hurtful things towards me and my mom, my family, I was like, okay, how do I feel about that? Like, I was angry. I knew how I felt about it. I was angry with her. And I was like, okay, so if you can say those mean things about me, and if you, like, it was nothing for her to badmouth me and my adopted mother. Nothing at all. This was just like her everyday conversation. She was badmouthing us. But yeah, and still my adopted mother would give you the shirt off of her back if you needed it. So it was really tough for me to deal with that. And so instead of me like facing her head on because I was so young, I just chose not to deal with her at all because I felt like, okay, you hurt me, so let me just not have anything to do with you, and I could care less if you lived or died at that point. That's how I was feeling. Mind you, I was just 13 years old, so don't judge my life. Um, that's how I felt at that time. And for a long time after that, because she literally disowned me. Like when everything happened, she made it seem like I was that my brothers that had just passed for her only children, and she had six living children at the time. Um, yeah, she had a total of six children at the time. So for her to just kind of disown me like that, I was like, well, I don't really care anymore. Um, so yeah, I just kind of didn't have anything to do with her anymore for a long time, for about 4 years. My entire high school career, I had nothing to do with her. Didn't see her, didn't talk to her, didn't really care if she lived or died. Um, yeah. So that was that part of it. And then, I don't know, like after a while, I didn't get over it, but I realized that I was graduating. By now, I'm getting ready to graduate from high school. So I was closing the chapter in one part of my life and getting ready to start a new chapter. So I said, you know what? One day I literally just woke up and said, you know what? It doesn't matter anymore. Like, it doesn't even matter. I'm getting ready to close this chapter of my life, getting ready to go off to college, getting ready to move to a new city, didn't know anybody, wanted a fresh start, and I knew that I had to tell her that I forgave her for everything that she did to me. So that's what I did. I went to her and I said, you know what? As a matter of fact, it was the day before I left for college. Um, I just went to her and I was just like, you know what? It's okay. It doesn't even matter anymore. I mean, not that it doesn't matter, but at that point, it didn't matter. Like I'm opening my heart to forgive you. Yeah, you hurt me, but I can forgive you for hurting me because you were hurting too. So yeah, that's basically what I did. And I just kind of, I said I can't move on in my life holding on to that particular hurt and that particular pain because I literally wasn't doing anything at all, um, anything at all to better myself. It was killing me. It was literally killing me. Um, so yeah, I was able to go and talk to her and say, you know what, you hurt me, but I'm gonna be okay. Um, I really am gonna be okay. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of my forgiveness story, and I'm still working towards forgiveness. All has not been worked out because we all know that forgiveness is not an easy process. It is a very, very hard process. So, yeah, it's something that's gonna take time. It's gonna take energy. It's gonna take a whole lot of prayer on my part. And for those of us who are who have a faith and who believe in faith and who believe in a higher power, it's gonna take a lot of faith and a lot of prayer. Um, but it's possible. It really is possible. Even those situations as to where you don't think, um, those situations to those situations in which you don't even think that you'll be able to forgive that person that hurt you the most, you can forgive them. It's possible. Hey, I did it. And I never thought that I would be the one to forgive my birth mother for what she did and the things she said and how she acted. But I did. Um, so yeah, it's possible. Um, Not gonna say it's gonna be easy because it's not. Forgiving somebody that hurt you is not easy, but sometimes it just has to be done because sometimes that's the only way that you can um that you can be able to move on because that person that hurt you the worst or that hurt you, they can honestly probably care less. I keep moving the camera. They can probably care less about what you're doing, about how you feel when you're sitting over here like balled up in a corner crying, um, because you're so hurt. They're out there living their lives and moving on. So it's up to you. Sometimes you just gotta be the big person and go to that person, and just kind of say, look, I need to sit down. I need you to sit down and we need to talk because I got to get this off my chest. And if they accept it, good. Hopefully they will accept it. And if they don't, oh well, you did what you needed to do to move yourself to the next level. And sometimes that's all that we can do. Sometimes it's up to that person as to whether they want to accept our forgiveness. So, yeah, that was a little bit of my story. Shout out to the people that tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. Anybody want to say anything? I don't even know who's watching anymore. So, yeah, if you want to continue to follow me, continue to watch me broadcast live. Talk to me. Let's chit chat. You can follow me on Instagram at underscore it's just Chris underscore. You can follow me at Twitter at underscore it's just Chris underscore. Underscore it's just Chris underscore for both Instagram and Twitter. And up here, um, like, share. I don't know what you do on Periscope, but thank you for tuning in.